Welcome to our last session of the semester, our last EdTech Café. For those of you who are joining us live, we thank you. And for those who are watching later on at home or their office, we also appreciate you and participating in this experiment of faculty development. I hope it's been fun, interesting. We'll continue to revamp and analyze and continue to make it worth your time and things that are going to better, give you better practices in teaching specifically for online. For this session, summer is coming. We just wanted to have an opportunity to share resources that we utilize. Personally, two of them that I'm presenting to you are in the form of podcasts. So, I know during the summer you're traveling, you're taking the opportunity to maybe write some research, maybe write some books. I know many of you are published. So it's a busy time, a lot of moving parts. So I wanted to make sure to present resources that you can access also on the go. The first of which is from my alma mater, UCF, and it's the Teaching Online podcast. Really, it's focused on best practices and themes revolving around teaching online. Oftentimes, they interview a lot of different faculty members, not just in UCF, but across the country that are doing interesting things within online learning. The episode that was for this month, they release it once a month, a new episode every month, was on equal access to education, and they actually interviewed their founder, Chuck Zubin. He actually founded the Center of Distributed Learning at UCF, so kind of created online learning at that institution. But as part of that, he also experimented with one of the poor neighborhoods in Orlando, Paramore, and really created a wonderful program that's still utilized today. He started in the 80s. I know oftentimes when we're talking about schools and poor neighborhoods, you hear a lot of this school-to-prison pipeline that exists, especially for minority students. Well, he wanted to kind of create a different pipeline, a real school-to-university pipeline, and have these students know that if they want an education, they'll get one for free, right? So it was funded also by Rosen, who's a big philanthropist in Orlando. If you've ever been to International Drive, Rosen Hotels, you see them everywhere. So he's the one who funded this particular program to pretty much give scholarships in perpetuity for students in this particular neighborhood. And the results have been great. So it's an interesting conversation. But again, that's not the only types of episodes. They don't only interview people at UCF. Again, they interview a lot of different people across the country. One of the more interesting episodes that I would suggest is Empowering Humans Through Learning Analytics. What's interesting about our learning management system is there's a lot of data being collected constantly. You not only know if your student turned something in, you know when they turned it in. You also know how long they've spent on pages. So there's a lot of different data points that we can utilize to maybe predict, right? And there's definitely a couple studies that I've read recently. One from our very own Namjoon Kim from the School of Education, where he actually took that data from the LMS and was able to predict student success. Pretty much within 2 weeks, right? You can see maybe if a student's not accessing something, it's going to be a problem, and you can kind of predict that even with just 2 weeks of information. So again, a lot of interesting episodes for you to check out on the go, in your travels. Topcast is the name of this particular podcast. The second resource is Teaching in Higher Ed. This is absolutely faculty focused. 100%. This particular person, Bonnie Sokoviak, hosts this website and hosts a podcast as well, along with her husband. They're both professors at a university in California. And they interview countless faculty members across the country that are implementing interesting practices within not just online courses, but their face-to-face course. In fact, one of the episodes that stuck with me was a professor in a face-to-face course incorporating a collaborative assessment and allowing students to develop questions. So kind of splitting students into each group, and each group had to come up with a couple number of questions, and then they were graded on the quality of questions that they created. And I think this is wonderful because oftentimes there's much more thought process that goes into creating a question than goes into answering a question, right? You have to have a deeper understanding, if you will, that subject in order to ask a quality question in that subject. So a lot of awesome episodes where she talks to faculty members and kind of just sees what's going on, right? It's nice to keep a pulse on what other institutions, universities are doing across the country. And this is absolutely it's fun, it's a casual conversation, and I really enjoy listening to her. So I wanted to present 2 podcast materials for you, because summer is a traveling time, a busy time, so I want to make sure that you have access to it. And I also want to say that you can download it on your phone. So like so you have Topcast here, and Teaching in Higher Ed is the 3rd one there. So you can have it connected to your phone and listen to the information anywhere you are. And just also something to keep in mind, if you want something like this, we have played around with the idea of starting some sort of teaching podcast here that really showcases some of the amazing work that a lot of our wonderful faculty members are doing. And so we're experimenting with that concept. So if you like this and think that this is something that we can implement, please feel free to share that with us, and it'll kind of give us more of that gusto to finish that project. With that being said, I'm going to give it to Ron. I am going to preface that Ron's particular topic and resource is very timely. For those that might not be aware, both Harvard and MIT are currently involved in a lawsuit regarding captioning. They actually tried to have the judge throw away the case. And you can imagine, right, MIT and Harvard lawyers are probably pretty top-notch. And the judge decided not to. So the lawsuit will continue, and it's all on captioning, because a student with a particular disability, or I think students, I think the lawsuit has multiple students, wanted to get access to this learning material, couldn't because it wasn't captioned, and now they're currently encountering a lawsuit. And we are trying to stay ahead of that here at DLI, and making sure that our videos are captioned, and making sure you're aware of universal design for learning and how we can be ADA compliant in our courses. So that being said, I'll give it to Ron.
Alrighty. Thank you guys for coming out. Like Luis was saying, can't believe we're down to our last EdTech Café, at least for this semester. We got a lot of good things coming up shortly, so we'll be sharing that information. What I wanted to talk to you guys about was Universal Design for Learning, and specifically the Universal Design for Learning Guidelines, UDL as it's known for short, and how we can incorporate these guidelines in your courses to make your course more engaging. It allows students to show what they've learned in multiple ways. So of the 3 we have here, we have provide multiple means of engagement. How do you engage your student? Do you just speak to them verbally? Do you show them videos? Do you send the information via text? Providing multiple means of representation. Same way, how do you represent the material that's being provided that's being shown to the student? And thirdly, providing multiple means of action and expression. And now this is how the student comes back and is giving you the material from the assignments that you have given them in the course. And what's really important, excuse me, is action and expression. I want to look at a little more in depth, because you could have an assignment that you traditionally have. I want you to read the following articles and write me a 2 to 3 page paper, 1 page paper, whatever it may be, thinking on your thoughts on what the item was. Now what you may not know is maybe that student is from a foreign country. English is his second language. Maybe he's just not a good writer. That's not his strength. But if you give him that option of, okay, you could turn the paper in, the 1 page paper written traditionally, but also turn around and say you could also provide a video with voice and show yourself expressing what you learned on that particular topic. Or if they're not comfortable in front of the camera, you could give them the option of turning around and doing just a voiceover. Just record a short video, a short voice, 1 to 2 minutes, record it, and they can upload it. And Blackboard accepts all those ways of submission: video, text, and voice as well. And what this does is it opens the door for creativity, and you're fulfilling other ways, because now you're providing multiple ways of engaging with your students, and you're providing multiple ways of representing the material. And since we're on that subject of UDL, what we could like to do is sit down with you guys if you're interested, and maybe if you're not teaching over the summer, or if you are and you want to take some time apart, we can sit down with us and we'll look at your current course that you're teaching. We'll look at the kind of questions and assignments, discussion boards that you have, and we can add those elements in to provide multiple means of action and expression. So if you have that discussion board question, what did you think after watching the video? And the students are just literally just typing back their answers, and that's the engagement. Add in the element. Your response could be in the form of video, voice, or text. You're adding those extra elements in there that's allowing the students to, engage with their fellow students, and you're providing them multiple means. So we would like to sit down with you, look at your assignments, and maybe, we don't have to revamp your entire assignment because you do have a good assignment already created. But what we're doing is just maybe adding in those additional elements. Like I was saying, since we are on that subject, we currently here at DLI, we're going to be doing a certificate program that we're doing. And one of the courses in the certificate program to earn your certificate is going to be Universal Design for Learning. Now, we developed this over the past semester right now. And what we're doing is, it's just a 5-week course. We want to take the best of Universal Design for Learning and engage and go more in depth in each one of the subjects. So this is the actual course here on Blackboard. And we like to open up with, in Module 1, what is UDL? And Luis and I were able to have time to collaborate and come together and work on this. And, we have our objectives out there. We want to gain an understanding of what is Universal Design for Learning. How does it work? What is it? How can I use it? So that's how we got to open up our first module. And then we get some more times in modules 2, 3, and 4 to delve in more in depth on each one of the UDL guidelines, such as engagement, representation, and action and expression. And we like to wrap up our course with creating a culture of accessibility. And what we're doing here is we're giving them a small final project. So it is a certificate course, but we're giving them a project to do, but then they're turning around, we're giving them the option of they could send their submission via text, via written, or video, or just voiceover. So we're kind of like showing them like how it works, how they can incorporate it, and then we're going to be giving them feedback throughout the module. So if you guys want a little more in-depth information on it, you're welcome to reach out to us. We'll sit down and go over the course with you. A lot of you teach online or are going to be new to teaching online. You can see our course itself and maybe gain some ideas maybe for your course in the future. And more importantly, if you know any students or anybody interested, let us know. We'd like to get them registered for our course that's going to be running this summer. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Ariella. She's got some really good stuff she's going to share with you. And she'll go for it.
Hello guys. Actually, let me just change the tab.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, so I'm here to walk you guys through one of our in-house faculty resources called the Showcase course. And so this is just a course that we created through Blackboard just to display all the different examples of course design and course tools. And we as a team just wanted to come together and create a space for faculty where they could see examples of what good design is and the different methodologies that they can use to incorporate into their courses to enhance them. So we just hope that this kind of inspires everyone to be more creative and design focused in their course creation, just to maintain student engagement. So for the Showcase course, this right here is just the modules 1 through 6 tab. So what we did is we sort of looked at all the different courses and then we chose 6 of the best ones that sort of included all those elements of design that we were looking for. And we just put them here. So let's just say that you were looking for inspiration or trying to get ideas of what to do with your course. You can just click on one of these, and I'm just going to click on this PHI 344 one. So for one of the reasons why we chose this course is because they had their objectives clearly listed, they had all their activities and their readings listed as well towards the top. And they also include an introduction video, which is what we recommend that a lot of faculty utilize for their courses, just because it adds that extra visual element. And one of the great things that this course included was that they had a mixture of different media. So they used both pictures and videos in their lecture just to sort of supplement the text. I'm just going to scroll down here so you guys can sort of see that too. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the modules 1 through 6 tab. Okay, so underneath all these 6 different examples, we also include something called the EdTech Toolkit. So what this is just a culmination of, let me just maximize so you guys can see it better. So this is just a culmination of all the different tools that we have available. And what we did is just we included 5 core topics: interactive videos, discussion tools, interactive tools, gamification, and adaptive learning. And so what you can do is, let's just say that you're interested in learning more about gamification. You can just hover over this icon, click on it, and then more information will pop up. So the format that we used for this is that we include the information such as the pedagogy, and then we always include examples just so you guys can have a practical sense of how to utilize these different features. So for this one, I put Twine that you can utilize to create different narrative games. Or let's just say that you're interested in interactive videos. The same format where you have the information here and also the practical examples. So you have explain everything is a different tool, H5P, and we also make sure to include the functions and the features. And we always include a video. Okay, so let's just moving on a little bit. Right down here, this is going to be your best friend as a faculty. It's called our KNX Standard of Excellence. So this is very important when you're in that process of creating your course, or even if you already have your course and you want to go back and sort of revamp everything, or just make sure that you're following these guidelines. Because you want to create something like this just so each course sort of could provide the best experience for the students. So when you go on this document, the text that's just in black and white, that's the core. You need to have this for all of your courses. That's just the foundation. But for the ones that are highlighted in green and orange, these are sort of the above and beyond measures that you can take to make your course an even better experience. So we recommend that everyone look at this and just sort of try to figure out, okay, where can I improve on my course in order to fit in with these guidelines.
And I do want to add that just simply by using our template, you meet a lot of these standards already.
Yeah.
So just having the objectives and having the template set up the way we often do with requirements and things of that nature, a lot of these can be checked off right from the bat. So,
so follow the template. So let me just go back. We also include a section here, which is just a short compiled list of everything. It's called our resources tab. So here we have accessibility, as we mentioned earlier, just so to make sure that you guys know what you can do in order to make this better for your classes. Also, we have alternative forms of assessment. So let's just say that you guys want to sort of step outside of doing the regular quizzes or exams. You can look at these as different tools. So you can say, okay, let me try portfolios. So you can click on this link, and it'll bring you to more information on how you can do that for your class. Moving back. We also have more examples of exemplary courses that you guys can utilize for inspiration. We also make sure to list down the collaboration tools, the EdTech tools, the open educational resources. I personally really loved Khan Academy when I was a student. You also have the open scholarly journals. So this is perfect for your students if they're looking, even for you as well, if you're writing research papers, just so you have all these sources and you know where you can go in order to get more peer-reviewed journals. And so that is it for our little.
That was great. That was great. And that is a project that we have been working on, and again, it will constantly evolve and grow as we continue to grow and explore different tools.